Hello everyone, this is Crypto BitLaw, here with another blockchain legal brief, and today we're going to discuss the Plaid class action lawsuit. And for those of you that are unaware, Plaid is a payment services provider that often connects an exchange with your bank account. So they provide the services to provide the connection between your bank account and an exchange when you actually go to fund or top up your exchange account. Some of you might be familiar with using it through services like Venmo as well. And they're being sued in a class action lawsuit. So we're going to discuss this suit. But before we dive in, if you enjoy this content, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We'd really appreciate that as we keep trying to help, spread this word of what's going on in the blockchain, digital asset, law, regulation, policy space. So with that said, let's jump right on in. All right, so I think this is a good place to start with this Reddit post. I was browsing the news today and came across this, and it reminded me of this Plaid class action lawsuit that was filed a while ago. And apparently there's been some developments going on in this case. So this kind of gives a nice little overview of what Plaid is and what's going on. And we'll do a little more in-depth analysis, kind of focusing more on the lawsuit itself after we finish with this. But the post is titled Class Action Lawsuit Against Plaid. If you use crypto exchanges such as Coinbase or Gemini last year, Plaid stored and sold your bank info. Just a heads up for those of you who may be unaware, perhaps you haven't been getting the emails or ignoring them as spam like me, and like me too. Coinbase, Gemini, and Public are just 3 exchanges I use that are all affected by this. Others include Robinhood and Venmo. When you initially make an account with one of these exchanges, they use the third-party company called Plaid to connect to your bank account and verify. Well, Plaid was accessing everyone's bank info, including transactions, quote, anonymizing the data and selling it. This is what the class action lawsuit is about. Anyone who connected their bank to an exchange or other service using Plaid before November of 2021 should file a claim right now. Your personal data was illegally sold. Again, you might not even remember it. You did not even have to make an account with Plaid. This is just the 20-second process of using them to connect to your bank. Over 5,000 apps use Plaid. This is my first time involving myself with a class action lawsuit. It's actually very easy. If you cannot remember or are unsure of what apps use Plaid, first go to myplaid.com and make an account with Plaid. When you make an account, it will tell you what connections associated with your phone number are on file. Click to view a list of connected apps that you've used Plaid with. Next, go to the settlement website, plaidsettlement.com, submit claim. Fill out the form. It just takes 1 minute. On Section 2, fill out the boxes using information you got from Plaid. Bank account, connected apps, Coinbase, Gemini, so on and so forth, and approximate the date of connection. Plaid will not give you an exact date, but your best guess should be good enough. Anything prior to November of 2021 is valid. At the end, you can select a month, or you could select a method to receive your settlement payout. PayPal and direct deposit into your bank are accepted. Exact payout amounts and dates are not known, but Plaid had to establish a settlement fund of more than $58 million to be divided among everyone. I can imagine that the more connections you had, the more you'll get. The final court hearing appears to be set for May 12th. Again, make sure you file your claim before April 28th of this month. Get your free money from these scummy, bad people. Okay, interesting. So doing a little more research on the lawsuit itself, we could see this site, Top Class Actions, helping right consumer wrongs. The title is Plaid to pay $58 million settlement over Venmo, Coinbase privacy breach claims. And we do a who, why, and where. Plaid privacy breach class action lawsuit overview. Who? Plaid Incorporated has agreed to settle with consumers who filed a class action lawsuit against the financial services company. Why? Consumers allege Plaid Incorporated accessed private data from payment apps without their consent. Where? The class action lawsuit was filed in federal court in Northern California. Of course it was. A financial services company accused of accessing we've been over most of that. In class action lawsuit filed in May of 2020, plaintiffs accused Plaid of setting up a login page that mirrored or looked and feel of the login screens of their own bank accounts. Consumers would then enter their login information thinking it was for their personal accounts, the plaintiffs allege. Plaid then used the login information to collect private transaction history, investment history, salary information, and other personal identifying information, the class action lawsuit reportedly alleges. The $58 million proposed settlement would end claims Plaid breached privacy rights of users by hiding the way it collects bank login information when consumers used apps that partnered with Plaid like Coinbase and Venmo. Here's a good juicy bit. Attorneys are seeking up to $14.5 million in fees through the settlement, and consumers who make a claim will get a set payout figure that has not yet been determined, according to Law 360. The settlement also forces Plaid to make changes to its privacy processes and user interface. Interesting. Okay, so here we can see is a copy of the docket in this case. As we could tell, it's named In Re Plaid Incorporated Privacy Litigation out of the Northern District of California. It began May 4th of 2020. Here's the class action complaint. Here is a copy of the complaint. It's pretty long, 85 pages, so if you want some nice thick reading material to help put you to sleep, here you go. You can go and pull this up and knock yourself out, literally and figuratively. We will not be going over this, but it's all right here in black and white in case you want to take a look. And yeah, this thing, it's been pending since May 4th of 2020. Look at all the events that have happened in this case. This is the long, winding road of litigation. All of this work. And so eventually we get down to the more recent events and happenings in this case. On March 22nd, we have a brief that was filed. I'm pretty sure, I think I pulled that up, and then a transcript order. Let's take a look and see if either of those are interesting. Okay, that's the complaint. This is the transcript order. Okay, this is actually trying to order a transcript. Okay. And here is plaintiff's omnibus response to objections to class action settlement. So I guess the defendant, Plaid, tried to propose a settlement, and the plaintiffs named, through their attorneys, I guess, filed an objection. The opt-out, nothing too juicy. Well, we know where we stand in this case. So if we do a quick search of Plaid settlement, we could see the Snopes. We're not going to click that because we actually have half of a brain, and we don't trust Snopes. So we're going to go for something more legit like Bloomberg, and then look over here and verify, yes, this thing is actually legit. Plaid's $58 million privacy settlements pushed by the plaintiffs. So this is happening. We can go back over here, and then here is a copy of the settlement website that was posted by the attorneys of record. And here is where you can go to file your claim for compensation. As we can see here, the deadline is April 28th of 2022. So I guess considering that I'm affected by this, Lord knows I've used these exchanges and probably hooked in my bank account through Plaid. I'll probably do a little due diligence, and why not file a claim? You know, they wronged you. Get righted. But yeah, I mean, before you do anything, do your own research. That good old cliche maxim, as everybody always says, not financial advice and all the hoo-ha. Not legal advice while we're at it. But yeah, I just thought that this was interesting to see this development in this case. And not touching on the exchanges themselves, but the service provider that they use to actually connect to the bank accounts, how they're getting wrapped up in under the guise of privacy law. So interesting stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this, got something out of it. Certainly we enjoyed making it for you. But yeah, with that said, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video. Oh, and before we go, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already done that. We'd really appreciate that. So yeah, thanks again for watching. We'll see you all